Well, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, here we are, last day of the daily Zooms for the Power Week. But we're not over yet. It's not over yet. We will continue tomorrow and Sunday. And of course, every day is a Power Day, a Power Week day. And we have had such a great time this week. We have learned so much from everyone. And let me go ahead and share some of the comments and recognize some of those great leaders that have posted their comments and ideas on the chat. First, let's start off with Beverly Williams. She started the day yesterday asking for a suggestion where to go look for clients or prospects. And she was determined to do that yesterday. Dina Holmes, of course, she gave her some great ideas, including going to places where she regularly talks to the same person. If not, go to one of these places and attempt to start a conversation. A few hours later, guess what? Beverly went to Walgreens and spoke to the lady at the register and gave her a business card and a brochure as well. So way to go, Beverly. Also, Martha Ament, she suggested to try gyms and take information about Immunocal Sport and Immunocal by the Numbers flyer and told Beverly to just keep going. Think of this as working with this team as on-the-job training. I love that. Martha also went prepared to her doctor's appointment yesterday and brought with her some samples and information about Immunocal Sport and 7200. And needless to say, her doctor was impressed. Martha also shared an example of the coupon to collect contact information. So check it out. Many of you, of course, showed the love to Doug McNabb yesterday for his great insight on how to qualify your candidates and how to handle rejection. We love that. And Martha Amen loved what Doug said. And she said, and quote, my confidence in immunotech is like an iron peg pounded into concrete. Oh my goodness, this was such a great quote. Elaine Kern gave a shout out to Stephanie for signing up another customer from their farm market activity. So way to go, Stephanie. Dale Puerini, she shared more ideas on how to prospect, just striking friendly conversations to start with a smile and a hello. Then shared a couple of her own experiences sharing our products in her local gym. Ivana Gonzalez, she continues to be unstoppable, sharing photos of all her activities from yesterday. Sandy Walper, our platinum from Canada, she shared with the group how proud she is of all of you. And she said, together we can change the world. That's powerful right there. Debbie Jackson, she finally got a chance to share how she's benefiting during this powerful week. She found a way to write a beautiful, beautiful summary, incorporating all the learnings she has received from all the speakers this week. It was a great review of this week so far, so I invite everyone to read that again because it was just beautiful. Elizabeth Andrade, she is loving Power Week. She really took to heart what Doug said yesterday, and he said, family, friends, and relationships are the most important things in our life. So never ruin that over a business opportunity or talking about Immunocal. Love that, love that. And always wait for the right moment, right, to talk to them about what we do. And last but not least, Obadiah Ocasio, she took the time to write a beautiful comment after midnight last night. She started by saying that she could have come up with so many excuses as to why she couldn't get on the Power Week meetings or why she couldn't write this text or because it was too late or busy or just really tired or because she might be at work. Then she said, and I quote, well, that's why they made headphones, but this is my business. She continued to tell her story. She talked about the importance of setting goals for yourself, believe in it, and don't be afraid to tell others about Immunocal. And I just love the way she finished. And she said, endless opportunities are out there. You just got to grab it. Perfect. So then, once again, like we have seen it throughout this week, the floodgates of love were open once again, and everyone started commenting and sharing the love. And Dina Holmes said it perfectly. She said, Obadiah's text is reason number 6,937 why I love our Immunotech family. Thank you for taking the time to share this message. It really touched my heart. Love that, Dina. And Dina then shared another great golden nugget on how to prospect when you go out shopping. She also gave us a great tip when prospects say that they need to talk to their doctor. And the great tip, referred to Dr. Gottman's book. This is a good way for people to understand about this science. So fantastic comments. And guys, keep it going because we're going to leave the chat open until the end of the month. So keep sharing your experiences. And now let me pass the microphone to my dear friend and colleague, Linda Castillo. Go ahead, Linda.
Thank you, Alberto. And before I introduce our special speaker for today, we have, like usual, tips of the day that we're going to share with you. And of course, these tips we've collected from our years of experience from people like you, from you leaders in the field. So if you can go ahead and share, Alberto, please. Thank you so much. So our tips for the day, today we're talking about finishing strong. You know, I love this quote from C.S. Lewis that says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the end. There's so much power in that quote because it really, you know, it reminds me of another one. It doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish, right? And there's power in knowing that at any point, at any time, you can decide whether it was Monday when Power Week started, whether it was the first of this month, or whether it's today, you can start to change the end. And so that to me just aligns with Power Week. One of the wonderful things is that there's still time. Did you guys know there's 10 days left in the month? 10 days. That means 32% of the month is still open to you to achieve your goals. And if you've not been familiar with network marketing in the past, you'll know that the most important time of the month are these days. So these are the make it happen days. These are the days when miracles happen. These are the days when you pull out all the stops. And so these are the best 10 days that you'll want to take advantage of in your business. When you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And I love this picture because it really does portray that message. Knowing that we have 10 days left, it's important to know how are you going to use those 10 days. Let's say that you still have a ways to go to earn the trip, or maybe you're so close to achieving your silver or gold rank, but you kind of felt like, I don't know if I can. Well, guess what? When you know where you're going, the road will become clear, but you do have to decide, and you have the time to do that. And so what does that mean? You'll want to take advantage of these 10 days to identify your goal. What is your goal? Is your goal to hit a new rank? Is your goal to maybe requalify your rank or to earn the trip? Or maybe your goal is to speak to 10 new people every single day. Whatever that goal might be, whether it's making calls or growing your contact list, identify what that goal is. Make a 10-day plan. How will you achieve that goal over the course of the next 10 days? And then take action. That's all this is what this is about. When you see that previous picture and it was the road, it's like knowing what that goal is will tell you which road to go down. But one of the other quotes I love from Daring Kidd, he's a well-known guy in network marketing, and he said, success is buried right underneath frustration. Right when you start to feel frustrated with yourself, with your business, with whatever, know that success is right under there. So don't give up. And that this picture portrays that message, right? That there has to be an emotional attachment to your goal that you can plug your goal into. Our goals, we form them in our brain. And that's kind of where they're created, right? We hear people, we get inspired by people, and we start to logically think, I can do this too. But it's important to take that goal and plug it into your heart, plug it into your emotions, make the reasons so strong and emotional that when you start to feel frustrated with yourself, with the business, with whatever, that emotion will connect you and it'll motivate you to keep on going. So these are the tips for today. And then the last one, we always say, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that, one day I will pick up the phone and, follow up on my leads. Well, you know what? You can see it one day, or you can decide today is day one. Either way, you have the power. You have the choice to make to decide when that day begins. So with that, I want to introduce you to a very special young man. I look at him and I'm like, he could be my son. He's 24 years old, but with wisdom beyond his years. 24 is just a number, but this guy has wisdom beyond his years. He is a young man of faith, hardworking, committed to the success of others. And truly, when I see him, the future of leadership and Immunotech. So guys, let's please welcome from Chester, Henry, New York, Diamond Consultant, Giancarlo Torres. Take it away, my friend.
Hey, my family, Immunotech family. So happy to be here with all of you. Linda, those are beautiful words. It feels like yesterday. I was just thinking about it this week in October, I think November now. It's going to be almost 6 years since I joined Immunotech. And it felt like yesterday when I bought that big kit as a venture, like all of us here. And now we're here, right? Like they say. So again, thank you. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Sharif, the whole corporate team. I think what I love about Power Week is that Power Week is all of the best in Immunotech trying to help you to get to your goal, right? And you think about it, before Immunotech, if we were in a job, if we were in a corporate company, in lots of jobs in corporate companies, you don't get this encouragement. And encouragement is part of our soul. We need encouragement. We all remember that friend that's encouraged us. And that's exactly what Power Week is. And why do we have Power Week in the first place? Is it just to give motivation? No. Power Week is to accelerate your personal growth and your team growth. So Power Week is to accelerate your personal growth and your team growth. How does this happen? Some skills are developed in some time. Might take a couple of years to develop some leadership skills. Leadership takes a while. I remember Eric Worre once said that to be a true leader in the profession, it takes 7 years. Whether that's true or not. Some skills in the business are not required for you to spend 7 years, are not required for you to spend 5 or 3 years. Sometimes these skills can be developed in a week or two. How does this happen? Well, it happens when you 10x your activity. When you 10x your activity, all these skills like prospecting, inviting, just to mention two of these, you can accelerate your growth in a Power Week. For example, let's say before the Power Week, you were doing two presentations a week. What do we encourage you to do in the Power Week? Well, do 2 a day. What's going to happen if you do 2 presentations every single day? You're going to get better at it, right? So that's the whole point about Power Week. You want to accelerate your growth. And so what happens when you accelerate your growth and then you accelerate your team's growth, you have momentum. And what's momentum? Energy. And then this will kind of keep rolling for the next months. Whenever we are at an event or at a convention of Immunotech, and we see those speakers talk, especially the executive diamonds and above, executive diamonds and platinums, what do we see or what do we think? We say, oh man, I would love to be like them. I would love to be like Dr. Palayo, like James Spencer, like John Salder, like Angelo Licari, okay? Like Marilu Sanchez Torres, like Tina Holmes. Like you think about all these people and you say, wow, I would love to be like them. And what are you thinking while you're watching these presenters? You're thinking of how good they are at what they do. So you're focusing on their strengths, right? You're focusing on their strengths and you're like, man, they're just so good. Now, except thinking about how good they are, let's change that up and let's think about yourself. So we're thinking, man, they're so good. What about you? Do you know your strengths? Ask yourself that question. Do you know your strengths? What happens? Sometimes because of self-esteem or because of school or because of a million reasons, we don't know our strengths. And this, not knowing our strengths, is probably the biggest weakness out there. And why is that? Well, if you don't know your strengths, How are you going to wake up early and do a presentation? How are you going to sleep late and do a presentation, right? Because if you think only about your weaknesses, you won't have any energy to do a presentation. You won't have any energy to finish till 2 a.m. in the last day of the month. But if you know your strengths crystal clear, then like they say, whatever you focus on expands. And then you start to get encouraged. So Power Week is a place for you to know your strengths. But to know your strengths requires a lot of work from you. So how can you know your strengths at a bigger level? Do more activity than usual. If you do more activity than usual, you will find out some strengths. I'll give you a story. I remember once I was, well, not one, for a long time, I was terrified to do phone calls. I'm a Gen Z. What do Gen Zs do? Text message, voice messages. We don't call through the phone. So I remember that whenever I went through the Immunotech booklet and it said call 30, 50 people, I said, I can't do this. This is terrifying. And I remember being frozen and I didn't do it. I procrastinated. But I realized that if I wanted to get to the next level, I had to learn this skill. So what did I do? I did something unusual. I bought leads just to practice. And for some people, they say, well, leads are even more terrifying. Well, for me, it wasn't, because those people I didn't know. So you know what? I just have to practice, just get on the phone. Well, guess what? I think I bought 600 of them. I don't think I called every single one, but I think I called over 300. It got to the point that I was cold-blooded, in the sense, as in, you gave me the president's phone number, then I will call him. Why? Because after like so many phone calls, I lost my fear completely. This is one example. This is what happens when you 10 times your activity. When you 10 times your activity, you say, whoa, I actually like this. I actually like talking through the phone. I actually love this. Whoa, wait, I actually like following up. Wait, I actually like doing this. And then you start to know yourself. And every single successful person, I'll tell you one thing about them. Every single successful person, they know themselves very well. A non-successful person does not know themselves. A successful person, they know what they're good at. They know what they're bad at. So you have to figure that out, okay? And of all of the skills, I'm going to talk about one really important for the Power Week, and it's presenting. The skill of presenting. Now, we have videos to show the opportunity. You can call them to the phone, okay? You can go into their house. However you present the Immunotech opportunity, either through product or through business, it depends on you, right? We're not going to give lessons on how you should do it, because we're all our own entrepreneurs, right? But I will tell you one thing. Presenting, if you ask every single executive 9 and above, presenting is probably the most important skill when it comes to recruiting. Can we agree there? It's more important than videos. It's more important than phone calls. It's presenting. That could be in person in a hotel meeting. That could be in a Zoom. That could be however. But presenting the Immunotech opportunity through a Zoom is so powerful. Okay, I remember that when the first iPhone came on, Steve Jobs was presenting that iPhone. I was in love. I wanted to buy all of them. Why? Because he was presenting it to me, right? In the conventions, we see all these platinums presenting, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Presenting helps people make quicker decisions. I think that's the whole point about presenting, okay? Because there's energy involved. So I want to give some tips on presenting, okay? Because the more presentations you do in this Power Week, the more you will recruit. It's not that difficult, okay? It's just a matter of doing. But there are some tips that I've realized that makes a good presenter. To present well, before you show the slides, right, about Immunotech, you want to talk about your story. Okay? And we always go hard on this, right? Your story. Now, your story should not be more than 3 to 5 minutes. Some people say 2. 2 is better, okay? But in the beginning, it might take you a little bit longer. So let's say 3 minutes as an average. What do you need to talk about in your story? You need to talk about your past. And in your past, you want to talk about the pain before Immunotech. So when you talk about your past, you want to talk about your pain or what you were dissatisfied with before knowing about Immunotech. The second part of the story is you want to talk about what you found in Immunotech. That could be, look, I had no energy. I now have energy with Immunocap. Or I had no money. Now with Immunotech, I found the possibility to make money. And if you're making money, you can say, I've made money. If you're a beginner or you're already a pro, doesn't really matter. Just adjust that. And then the third part of your personal story is how you want to help people, how you see the future. And you can do this in a very short period of time. So when you're presenting, this part of the story is huge because people want to know you. They don't have to know everything about you, but they want to know, okay, this guy's talking to me about a presentation. I have to know a little bit about him. See if I can trust him. See if I can buy this product. See if I can work with him. So this story will be like, wow, you know what? Giancarlo was like me. He was 19 and broke. Look, Foster was like me. Look, Shelly was like me. Dina was like me. So this is the part of relating that's so important. Okay. So we have that. Then we have all the slides. We have the company, we have the product, we have the business. Now, this is tricky because some people know network marketing, some people don't know about network marketing. So you have to know your audience. But to make a presentation super attractive is whatever is difficult to understand, like glutathione or like network marketing. I'll give you a golden tip. Whatever is hard for people to understand, use illustrations. If it's hard to kind of grasp in the beginning, maybe glutathione, maybe, just the network marketing model, use an illustration. I'll give you an example. My dear mother here, she always talks about, whenever talking about building your downline, she talks about building a family. Look, when you build your downline of 4, 16, 16, it's like building a family. You have kids, then grandchildren, then great-grand, and then you grow your tree. Makes sense for people. Whoa, it's just growing my tree, but in the business. Makes sense. It's attractive. Okay. And you can even add, you know what? This business, you can eventually give it to your family. So people are already connecting. Same with glutathione. Okay. In one of our Immunotech videos, it talks about how people think that carrots activate a certain vitamin or that carrots have vitamin A. And that's not true, right? Carrots have the precursors to make vitamin A. That makes sense. Okay. Just kind of like glutathione or like building a cake, right? You need egg and flour to build a cake. So you need the precursors to make glutathione. Illustrations are so powerful. The best teachers ever always use illustrations. So in a sense, you want to use very powerful illustrations while presenting. So your story, illustrations, make the whole presentation alive. Can we agree there? It makes the whole presentation alive. That's what you want to do. Okay? I'll give you another tip. Kind of always use the same stories, the same way of presenting. Repeat, don't change. And I'll tell you why this is so important. We're not only sales people in Immunotech, because we can't hide that fact, okay? Selling is just giving value to the world. That's it. So we are salespeople. Don't ever shy away from that fact. But with that in mind, we just don't want to sell or recruit people. We want to build teams. We want to create businesses. We want to duplicate, right? That amazing word, duplicate, which is you wake up and your team is working without you. That's duplication, Dan. How can you duplicate? You duplicate when people understand the business, right? But that they can understand to do it without you. One way of this happening is, guess what? It's them imitating you. So if you maintain always the same style of presenting with the same stories, with the same tactics, your people will understand, well, I have to do the same thing. Not that they're going to copy your story, but they will get the point. Well, you know what? Look, Giancarlo, he always says in the beginning, he was 19 and broke. I got it. I have to start with the same story, right? Some people are even expecting Giancarlo's going to say this. He was 19 and broke. What happens? That creates duplication in the whole team. Okay, I remember that when I got into Immunotech, I was fortunate to take a mentorship by Jim Spencer. Extremely fortunate, right? Because he's way above me, but he mentored me. And I saw in every single presentation, Jim would use the same jokes, the same stories. And Alberto knows, he's right now, he knows, he uses the same stories every single time. So what did I get? Well, I have to do the same thing. And guess what? I duplicate. I don't need him anymore. Just like I don't need my umpires anymore, right? In a sense. So that's what we want. That is a super important tip, because sometimes we want to be so fancy, right? So fancy, and then change it up all the time. You don't have to be. Either you want an applause or you become successful. If you want an applause, change it up every single time you present. If you want to be successful, you want to duplicate, keep it the same, like a system. That's what you want to do. We know now Randy Gage, he uses the same story about, the hotel motel type, right? He always says the same. You get the point. You want to duplicate yourself, right? You want to duplicate yourself. And if you do this constantly, your team will get it. And guess what? Your team will get it. Your team will start presenting, okay, by themselves without needing you. How amazing is that? And then you can go to Hawaii for a month and not worry about your finances. That's what we want to do here. right? So you want to keep it the same. Now, you say, how can I do that? Well, you want to observe certain leaders in the company. And that's why we love technology. We love Zoom. We love YouTube, right? Because if you want to find a presentation of Dr. Pelayo, you can just go to his Monday meetings and you just see it. Okay. If you want to find Jim's Monday meetings. So just follow certain plans. You can even record it and then listen to it every single day, and then practice. And then practice like if you were them. And eventually it's just going to click. One day you're going to say, whoa, I can do this. I'm actually just saying the same thing. And your team will also be doing the same thing. Okay, so these are just some tips on how to present that I've seen that are absolutely key in this industry. And as I said, look, videos and phone calls are great ways to recruit people, but presenting is better. Okay, because there's energy involved, and for people to make a decision, they need energy, and they need to know you. Okay, so presenting, I think when it comes to recruiting, is the most important skill when it comes to bringing people into our business. And the bad presenters don't make any money. Or like they say, shy salespeople have skinny kids. You don't want to have, you don't want to be that person, right? You want to be a good presenter. A good presenter, you won't have skinny kids, right? You have beautiful kids, but you get the point, okay? And look, to end this, just recently I was watching a video with Jeff Bezos. All of you guys know him. I don't have to explain who he is. And he says something that I love, that he said that 80% of all business plans fail. And this is funny, because we're not in the Power Week. We want you to do quite the contrary. We want you to succeed. So of course, there's some truth to what he said, but the whole point at the end of his talk was this. He says, when you think about the high possibility of failure in business, then this shouldn't scare you to start a plan or to act. He says, because in the end, you just might fail in the end. So why are you going to be scared about this? And I love that, that thinking. Okay, maybe, as I said, okay, you say, I'm doing 2 presentations a week. Now I'm going to do 2 a day. Well, will every single presentation be perfect? No, it won't be perfect. You might fail in some. You might not feel good in some. In some, like presentations, nobody might pop up. However, but you're doing the activity. And you know what? This is like opening a store. It's like opening a pizzeria. You just open the pizzeria. Some people will arrive, some people won't. I'm going to open the store though. That's the philosophy you want when doing presentations. So don't be scared about this whole failure or not failure thing. You know what? You just might fail it, but that doesn't matter. You know why? Because every single failure is a step to success, right? And that's where here in Power Week. So my friends, I love you all, and I can't wait to see you guys succeed and change your state of mind. Change your state, get some energy, and go kill it.
Wow, Giancarlo, when I said wisdom beyond your years, I think we all just experienced your wisdom beyond your years, because that was impressive. I mean, your thoughts are deep. Aside from the points and the tips, you said something toward the beginning that said, as you do the business, you start to know yourself. That's a lot of wisdom in that one phrase, because we're sometimes afraid, right? It's almost like we're afraid to find out who we are. We're afraid to discover ourselves. And so you saying that was, knowing your strength and how this is about accelerating your personal and team growth. All wisdom, my friend. Thank you so much. I was writing as fast as I can, taking all of my notes, but that's my thing that you spoke to my heart today, that I'm going to walk away with, was as you do the business, you know yourself, because that's huge. Knowing, discovering who we are, and in this business, I heard someone say, those who shy away from failure never achieve success. And it goes along with what you were sharing about Jeff Bezos. So yes, let's not be afraid to fail. Let's not be afraid to fail forward to success. Let's embrace that and know ourselves like yourself. I wish at 24, I would have known who I was. Great job. Thank you so much, Giancarlo. Awesome upline mama proud moment. I know too, Mariluz. Alberto, do you want to, I know you want to, so I'm going to hand over the microphone to you.
No, awesome, Giancarlo. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you, guy, man. I'm so proud of all your accomplishments, all you've done so far, and you're on your way. It's like we were talking to Foster before anybody joined, and he wanted to see the Millionaires Club trophy. And I said, Giancarlo, it's on the way to your home one day. So you're working at it. It's going to happen for you, and it's because of all the things you just shared with us today. And like you said, know your audience, right? If you know that you're doing a presentation for new people, it doesn't matter if you repeat the same story over and over, because it's going to be a first time for those people. And that's the audience you want to talk to. So great insights. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. And wow, Linda, it's been a wonderful, powerful week. And maybe we want to give Sharif some time to say goodbye, and to say, how he feels about the Power Week. And, we still 10 days to close the month. So I'm going to unmute Sharif. Maybe he's still there. Sharif,
Okay.
are you there? There
Hey,
you go.
thanks, Alberto. Thanks, Linda. You two did just absolutely phenomenal job with all the speakers. The first thing I wrote was the definition from Giancarlo about what Power Week is. And that is to accelerate your personal growth and your team growth. And the truth is that I haven't heard that definition until now about what Power Week is. I know a lot of us, we look at this as accountability group. People pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for accountability partners in their life. And all of you are doing that. And it's not just about the accountability. It's exactly what Giancarlo, you said. It's about to accelerate your personal growth and your team growth. And I agree with everything that we just heard. And one of the things that I thought that had the most wisdom in what we just heard was about keeping the story the same. And when you do present, and that relates very strong with me at this moment, because I just got back from taking my son to one of his therapy sessions. And the therapist said, if you keep the same pattern and you share the same story in the same way, then the expectation from your son is to now participate. And if you think about what we're doing here as we're role modeling the business and wanting others to grow and find success, when they see that, then they want to participate and they want to present and they want to find their own success as well. So that was just an amazing timing thing right now. I literally just heard that just moments before this started. And there's a lot of wisdom into that, being setting expectations that people can understand that they can do the same, and then now they can participate as well. So Power Week is not just for this week. Power Week is inside you every day. You are a leader. People are looking up to you as a leader. And this business is more caught than taught, as we all have heard that statement so many times, but it's true. It's a people see, people do type business. And so keep leading the way as you are already. You all are fantastic leaders, some of the best in the business that I've ever seen. And it's because you don't put business first, you put people first. And so thank you for being you. Thank you for being the best part of Immunotech. And thank you for allowing me to share. Alberto, back to you.
Thank you so much. And Linda, we're done for today. And keep in mind that we RSMs are always here for you. So let's keep in touch. Let's keep working together, because together we're gonna do marvelous things, and that's how it's done. So thank you, Sharif, also, and we'll see you next time.